Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Famer Bob Berry ruled Milwaukee's airwaves in the 60s and 70s. He spoke with countless musicians and celebrities over the years. Bob collected remarkable recordings of these encounters, which he's now sharing with the public. Here's Bob.
In March of 1960, Stanley Kramer had the honor of being the first star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, nearly 3,000 stars later, this podcast shines a light on one of Hollywood's most fearless filmmakers. Kramer, known as the message movie maker, never shied away from tackling the big issues of his time: racism, war, nuclear fear, and social justice, with classics like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, High Noon, Judgment at Nuremberg, 2001, A Space Odyssey. Kramer proved that movies could both entertain and challenge audiences to think. His bold vision and moral courage made him not just a director and a producer, but a true pioneer in American cinema.
Yes.
Hi, Bob.
Hello, Stanley. Bob Berry. This is a real pleasure to talk to you. I've seen just about all of your movies. Well, I can't say. Let me rephrase that. I've seen many of them because you'd have to be a real movie freak to see all of them. You've been involved in so many, and it always seems that you are working on some kind of an important theme. Is that what you like to do? Is that, you know?
I don't think it's a question of liking to do. I think it's much simpler than that. It's an arrogant profession, that profession of which I'm part, because it necessarily has to be. You decide what it is that appeals to you, which you in turn think would have to appeal to a large segment of audience. Now, it doesn't always work out that way. When it doesn't work out that way often enough, you may never be heard from again. But the fact is that it isn't a particular appeal. It's something about the way you grew up. I was spawned pretty much during the Franklin Roosevelt era of social change, and I guess it left an imprint on me. What appeals to me for excitement, for provocation, for electricity, are those subjects.
Well, Stanley Kramer certainly has made films with content, and which film would you have to put above all the rest of them?
Well, I couldn't be patronizing enough to say. I take a dim view about those statements. They represent pretty much my feelings. I think when you look for truth in a complex society, you better stick to your own truth and you get into trouble, because truth is hard to find. Part of the truth is dangerous, so you better stick to your own truth. My own feeling is if a couple of people come out of the theater in Denver or Dayton or Milwaukee or wherever and say, well, I never thought of it in quite that way before, that's the most. It's a lot, but it's the most. I don't think you change anybody's opinion. You may plant a seed, but you don't change anyone's opinion.
I think of all the producers and directors I've talked to in the past, when I ask them about their best film, they mention their current film.
Yeah, well, my current film I've been working very hard on. You go through stages on a film. Usually when you make a new film, in this case it's called The Domino Principle with Gene Hackman, you at the start you think it's the greatest thing since the Second Coming. You level off a little bit, then when you get into this stage you again think, oh, this is really going to knock them dead. I don't know where the leveling off process comes, but it always comes somewhere along the line, because just nothing is that good. You're just so self-centered in the work and concentrating on it so hard you think it may be. This looks exciting and feels exciting to me.
Well, the Domino Principle deals with another provocative subject, and I wonder if you'd explain that to us.
Well, they say in the blurbs on the paperbacks that this is the true story of an assassination which hasn't happened yet. It really isn't a story of assassination. It's really the story of a man, Hackman, who's maybe even a born loser. But all of the powers and influences which are grouped under what we often refer to as they, we call them they. Every one of us every day say, oh, they wouldn't go for that, or they'll never let you get away with that. Who is this day. Well, whoever that power is, whether it's the alliance of industry and the military, or the FBI lists, or the CIA, or just Lockheed's deals, I don't know, or altogether, whoever they are, Hackman finds himself governed and pressured by a they, and he bucks them. He makes a deal with them and then finds out he can't carry it through. And because he can't carry it through, he gives up everything, including the woman he loves, who in this instance is Miss Bergen. And we wonder in the story whether in our society today, which is a society based evidently in great part upon nice guys finish last, whether anybody cares. I hope they do, and I'm trying to make the point that we better. And I guess that's really what the action story is about.
Seeing that you mentioned defeat, what was the worst film for you?
Well, I would say probably I never was more disappointed with the results, although not necessarily with the film. As I was with Inherit the Wind. Inherit the Wind was one of the lower grossing films in United Artists history. And in its replays on television through the years, it's had a signal success. My mail has been tremendous. I don't know why it failed originally. It had two electric performances by Spencer Tracy and Freddie March, and a very good one by Gene Kelly. But it just never cut the mustard, and it left me limping on the ropes, and I just never been able to answer the questions about it.
I'll be darned. Well, you came back all right anyway.
Well, the idea is to come back. Sometimes you come back with a different thing. I haven't always gone the same route. I am a guy who made It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. And I made The Cane Mutiny and a couple of other films of that nature, which were commercial films. Very commercial films. But some of these others, when you can make a blend, the Defiant ones was very successful, and I think it proves that it isn't that the exhibitors or even the public object to films of content. They may object to films of content which don't make money or aren't commercial. That's a difference.
I know people in radio that stay with the same people. If they move to another station, they call these people, they hire them. I notice this isn't done as much in the movies, but do you have any pets, pet actors or actresses that you like to work with?
Well, yeah, but, they aren't all still with us.
Yeah.
Whether I contributed to their untimely end or not. But there never was anyone like Spencer Tracy. I made the last four films he made. We did Inherit the Wind, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Mad World, and Judgment at Nuremberg. And I certainly never worked with any man who better exemplified the power of the individual actor to lay it on the line to a mass public. On Poitier, Brando, I made the first film with Brando, was called The Men, it was about paraplegic war veterans. And later a film called The Wild One, which was about the motorcyclists, a little bit before its time, but that was a successful film too. I think that those fellows have the dynamism which you look for in an actor. I think that people like Tony Quinn and George Scott, and now Hackman for sure.
Right.
And a man by the name of Oscar Werner, who never became a great star, but he was in Ship of Fools, which didn't quite cut the mustard, but he should have been a great star. He's a wonderful actor.
I know you've been nominated for Academy Awards several times, and many of your actors and your films have won Academy Awards. In fact, High Noon won 4 Oscars alone, and you've won other awards, but you have never actually won an Academy Award. Isn't that correct?
Well, I never won an Oscar. I did win
an Oscar,
the Nuremberg Award, but
right.
I don't know. I never thought of that as an important denominator in my life. I think it'd be very pleasant. It always would have been. All the times that I lost, I became a very good, gracious loser through the years. I sat in the audience many times and lost. But I think that isn't really all that important. The aim in my life was not to win an Oscar. And I didn't even think that the measure of my impact or success would be measured by whether or not I won an
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
think that I'm answerable mostly to myself, unfortunately, and that can make you very unhappy because, first of all, you try to satisfy yourself, and the devil of it is that once you do, you're finished. You must never be able to satisfy yourself.
Yeah, I know what you mean. What does that upset you as much as it does the public, the movie-going public, when you lose? I know, you just said it's, not that important, but still, I mean, when you're sitting in the audience there and you think, gee, I did a pretty good job on that film, maybe I got a really good chance, and we feel the same way sitting at home. Gee, I saw that movie, and boy, that was dynamite. It's got to win, and then it loses. Is there some kind of an upset feeling at that moment?
Oh, yeah, sure there is. I mean, anybody who says there isn't probably wouldn't be telling the truth. I think there's an upset feeling, but after all, despite the fact that we turn our backs on it and call each other sticky and say that we're being too emotional and too broad about it, the fact is it does come down eventually, doesn't it, to how you play the game and all that sort of thing, instead of whether you win. I really think that's an important credo, and the idealism of it is frowned on too much. I think it's killing our athletic endeavor even, and athletic competition. It really does matter how you take it and whether you can manage to rise above it, and I think it's very important.
Right. Stanley Kramer, I want to wish you the best of luck with the Domino Principle. I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
I thank you, and I hope to see you when I come through, because I'm going to be traveling a great deal on this film as soon as it's ready.
Oh, I would look forward to that. Thank you.
Bob Berry. Thank you for listening to Bob Berry's Unearthed Interviews. Be sure to subscribe and rate our podcast wherever you find your podcasts. You can find all our episodes at WisconsinBroadcastersMuseum.org. Check out Bob Berry's book, Rock and Roll Radio Milwaukee. Book sale proceeds support Donate Life Wisconsin. Special thanks to Wisconsin Historical Society and for financial support from WBA Hall of Famer Terry Barnes.